The FIA European Truck Racing Championship visits Jarama for the season finale. The racetrack to the north of Madrid was opened in 1967. A special flair has been a notable characteristic ever since, and it's no different in 2017, the 50th year of operations.
Welcome to the last fight in Jarama!
The small but exciting track will be progressively modernised until completion in 2021. The fans are always fired up when the racetracks visit Jarama. It's the season finale, and one man is the centre of attention this year. Three-time champion Antonio Albacete, born in Madrid, has won a number of battles here.
Yeah, I have a lot of fans, very small fans, as you see, you know. Yeah, it's great, it's great. I mean, they always say, you must win, you have to win. I say, yeah, okay, we'll try, you know. But yeah, it's very, very fun, you know. I mean, I enjoyed a lot this atmosphere, and I think it's one of the most greatest races of the championship.
The local hero, lying fifth in the overall standings, has no chance of clinching the title this season. But four other drivers are fighting for the top four positions. Who will seal the title? Who will finish runner-up? Lachko or Hahn? Who will finish third? Norbert Kish or Steffi Halm? With a maximum of 60 points up for grabs, it's simple mathematics. Adam Lachko needs 15 more points to wrap up his first ETRC title.
I think everything, like every time, I have 45 points, and this is, I think it's enough. And when we drive with head, I think it's not a problem.
The situation is less clear for Lachko's pursuers, Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kish and Steffi Halm, aiming to retain their positions or advance. Nobody wants to drop down in the final standings. It remains to be seen whether Norbert Kish will finish second, third or fourth. And Steffi Halm, the German power girl, dreams of the podium, but she knows it's going to be difficult against old hands Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish.
Der dritte Platz ist möglich, dafür müssen wir aber eine gute
Third place is possible, but we have to turn in a good display and hope Norby will make some mistakes. So yes, of course, full throttle for P3, and if I win a race, so much the better.
Auf 3 und wenn dabei ein Rennsieg rausspringt, ist es natürlich umso besser.
Johan is 15 points in front of me, Steffi is 14 points behind me. I think if nobody has a problem or a technical issue or like a big mistake, then I think this is too much. So normally if everybody have a good weekend and we are close in positions and everything, which we usually are every weekend, then I think it's not possible to change.
Sobald man ganz vorne fährt, geht schon.
As soon as you're not in P1, you start thinking, what do I need to do? What do I have to keep in mind? What am I doing wrong? I think we're doing nothing wrong. I think we can make it to the podium by our own effort. I know Adam is strong here. I know Norby loves the track. It suits me quite well too. So I think we'll have a nice three-way battle in the race. And we're working on it. Another question, who will win the Promoters' Cup? Jose Rodriguez from Portugal or Andre Kurzim from Germany? Only 14 points span them before the last race weekend. Saturday morning qualifying is on. The 5.5-ton, 1,200 horsepower racetracks get going. And we're joining Antonio Albacete. The Spaniard knows the track better than anyone else. It's literally his home track as he lives only a few kilometers away. And Adam Lachko, the overwhelming favourite for the title, seems to be over-motivated, touching Enrique Alberto Villa's truck during a manoeuvre. Lachko reaches the Super Pole shootout, but only just leaves the pit lane in time after a minor inspection of his Freightliner. Lachko finishes second, only to Antonio Albacete. The Spaniard is very pleased with his first pole position. He was half a second quicker than Adam Lachko.
It's the first one, and here at home, so I'm very, very happy. So yeah, I hope to do well on the race. You know, it's not any pressure, so I just have to fight to keep the first position in the first corner and try to keep the first position of the race.
It just isn't Adam Lachko's day. An overheating problem. No, not for the Czech himself, but for his truck's engine towards the end of the Super Pole session. It necessitates an engine change prior to race 1. There's about an hour to go. But the Czech driver makes it to the grid just in time, so he will compete in the race.
I hope it's everything fixed because my guy is really good. We changed the engine in 55 minutes. It's perfect, and now we will see how working everything. It's everything fixed, and we must fight.
Antonio Albacete, unaffected by problems like this one, enjoys the pole, dreaming of his maiden win in a major race this season.
It will be fantastic, and if he's here in front of our crowd, it will be fantastic, you know, so I look forward for that.
And of course, the many, many Spanish fans are also hoping their local hero will win. Part 1 of the Spanish Fiesta is on. 12 laps to go. Antonio Albacete retains the lead, followed by Adam Lachko. Behind them, David Rosetsky and Jochen Hahn are in a battle. Rosetsky turned in his best qualifying display so far, the second Freightliner starting from P3, with Jochen Hahn lining up alongside him. No collisions in turn 1, everything goes smoothly in the 4 turns to follow, but then Gert Kurbel, Andre Kurzim and Jose Rodriguez are involved in a major crash. On board with Gert Kurbel, Rodriguez to Kurbel's left gets pushed by his chief rival in the fight for the Promoters' Cup title. Rodriguez spins, with Gert Kurbel failing to avoid a collision. The 2 Germans and the Portuguese are stationary and blocking the track, prompting the stewards of the meeting to suspend the race. Rodriguez is the only one of the 3 stricken drivers to head into the paddock for a new tyre.
The second corner, I think Kiss and Kursin push me. I go and Corbett crashed me. After not possible race, I go in the paddock. I change my tire. I go and I fight to lap for lap.
The restart about 20 minutes later. Again, 12 laps to go. Albacete once more makes a better getaway than Adam Lachko. Sascha Lentz, 6th in qualifying and boasting strong acceleration in his MAN truck, puts Hahn under pressure but has to brake earlier. Steffi Halm has a chance of passing Lentz as David Rosetsky's rear perspective reveals. Mr. Truck Race Gert Kurbel too overtakes Lentz, who drops down to 7th. The drivers approach the hill for the first time. Sascha Lentz going full throttle and Kish race alongside one another. Kish started from P10 as his Super Pole lap times were annulled due to speeding. On board with Frankie Wojciech, lying 10th, turning in for the right-hander, but suddenly going straight on. The 56-year-old veteran retires on lap 1. There's a tough battle between David Rosetsky and Jochen Hahn. The Czech has to let title contender Hahn pass for P3, the stewards requesting him to give way with blue flags being waved. But Lachko is lying second, so P3 is not enough for Hahn to spoil an early party for Lachko. A somewhat pointless and debatable decision, and that's what Rosetsky thinks too.
From nothing, I saw the blue flag. I was about 3 tenths slower than Jochen. Then I don't think it's for the blue flag. It will be continue like this. Then the result it will be from FIA, not from the drivers or from the speed of drivers.
Jose Rodriguez, unlucky so far, has strong pace after starting from the pit lane. The MAN driver closes up to Andre Kurzim on lap 8. He's almost as fast as Antonio Albacete and Adam Lachko at the head of the field. And Rodriguez soon passes Andre Kurzim's Mercedes. Another small but crucial step for Rodriguez. Adam Lachko is on his way to the championship title, as Jochen Hahn will be 48 points short in the overall standings if he finishes third, and 40 points are still up for grabs after this race. Simple mathematics. There's excitement towards the end thanks to Norbert Kish. The Hungarian retires with a steering problem shortly before the checkered flag. Steffi Halm lying fifth ahead of Gert Kurber takes 8 points and still has a chance of finishing third overall. Albacete beats Lachko and Hahn to the flag after 12 laps, bringing the Spanish fans to their feet. But Adam Lachko is the happiest driver. He finally seals the ETRC title after finishing runner-up for 2 consecutive seasons.
Champion, I wish you. Thank you. Okay. So,
I finished second and it's the perfect, but the last 3 laps we have small problem with the servo. And on the last lap it's like this, because here downhill is not possible turn. I must turn with the throttle, but I finished second and it's perfect.
Which problems again?
I'm really glad for him, even if it means I'll finish second or third, but he's a very fair sparring partner, so he's earned it. He'd better enjoy it because we'll attack next year. The top 10. Jose Rodriguez turns in an impressive display, finishing 8th. Euphoric cheers for Antonio Albacete during the podium ceremony. The Madrid-born driver more than met expectations. Deserved applause for him and, of course, Adam Lachko. But the drama continues for the newly crowned European champion. A fuel pipe ruptures as he leaves the team's awning prior to race 2. More stress for his team. The problem has to be solved within minutes for the Czech to make it to the grid. But the Bagheera team performs yet another miracle. Lachko lining up on the 4th row, even if a stain on the track beneath him reveals his mishap and has to be removed. The winner of race 1 lines up alongside him, Antonio Albacete. While his truck sport Lutz Bernau teammate Jose Rodriguez will be starting from pole position.
He
matches the top drivers in terms of pace, but lacks confidence at times. So this performance is no less than his potential. We'll do everything we can, and perhaps it'll work out next year. Race 2 in the late afternoon. The top 8 in reverse grid order as usual. The start from David Brzezinski's perspective. The Czech is lying 5th. The camera reveals all 4 drivers in front of him missed the braking point. Brzezinski makes the most of the situation, taking the lead, followed by Gert Kurber and Albacete. Tough luck for Sascha Lentz at the start yet again. Rodriguez spoils his race and he can't make his promising position count. Every time we have a chance of being at the head of the field, there's some trivial incident. I drop down to 5th, 6th, 7th, and then you have no chance of moving up to the top any longer. If all the strong trucks are up front and all of them have about the same pace nowadays, you have no chance. Brzezinski, Kurber, Albacete, Kurzim, Hahn, Kish, Halm, Lachko and Lentz make it through Jarama's arena for the first time. Midway through lap 2 on board with Kurzim. Jochen Hahn in the Iveco truck number 1 puts his young compatriot in the red and silver rig under pressure and passes. Kurzim is on the outside. Jochen Hahn overtakes him without any problems. Norbert Kish also passes him. Andre Kurzim drops down the order. Steffi Halm, Lachko and Lentz pass him, and the German goes from 4th to 9th. Lap 3, Albafetti stages an attack against Gert Kurber on the start, finish straight. The German driver gives way to the Spaniard, leaving him enough space. The race order: Rosecki, Albafetti, Kurber. The same lap, the top 5, followed by Steffi Halm. The German too is fair. Lachko and Lentz passing her for 6th and 7th. Halm dropping down to 8th. Rosecki versus Albafetti now for the race lead. Promoters' Cup contenders Andre Kurzim and Jose Rodriguez are in the battle for 9th. On board with Rodriguez. David Rosecki wraps up his maiden victory this season, the 11th driver to win an ETRC race this year, beating Albafetti to the flag.
Anton was behind me, sometimes very close, sometimes I have the good distance, and I say thanks for the fair play race because he didn't touch me. I think if he won't push me out and overtake like somebody else here.
3 former ETRC champions make it to the podium, just like in race 1. Rosecki, Albafetti to the left, Kurber to the right. The result reveals they're followed by another 3 champions: Hahn, Kish and the new title holder Adam Lachko in 4th, 5th and 6th. Another former champion was on site, Steve Parish, 5 times a champion, watched by his former competitors. Apparently, they had a lot to talk about. Steve Parish and Gert Kurber are well remembered, these 2 names, honestly. I keep being told at the Nürburgring, gee, it was always great with Steve Parish and you.
He's absolutely right. We spent our whole careers battling with one another, and there were some massive battles, and there was bits of truck all over the whole of Europe that came partly yellow, partly green, because mine was the BP truck. But I think, you know, we had a lot of respect for each other.
Steve hasn't changed after all, so I'm all the more pleased he's sitting here like he was 20 years ago. He's the same fun-loving lad he was 20 years ago. You always had fun when he was around. 2 truck racing legends swapping opinions and stories. Not to listen for hours. The next day, Norbert Kish is the fastest man in Sunday's qualifying. The Hungarian draws level with new champion Lachko in terms of the number of pole positions. Both boast 6 so far this season. Once again, there's a great atmosphere. Start of race 3. Adam Lachko in 2nd, just like yesterday. Jochen Hahn's rear camera reveals David Rosecki's Freightliner being passed by Steffi Halm. The Czech in number 33 is followed by Sascha Lentz and Gert Kurber. Champion Adam Lachko runs wide at the beginning of lap 3. That opens the door for Jochen Hahn, and he makes the most of it, passing Lachko for 2nd place. But midway through the race, leader Norbert Kish has a gap of 3.5 seconds. The gap cannot be closed if nothing extraordinary happens. Steffi Halm, lying 5th, overtakes Antonio Albafetti on lap 7. The Spaniard is relatively slow and will finish 8th, therefore starting on the front row of the grid for the final race of the weekend. Norbert Kish takes the flag 1 second ahead of Jochen Hahn. The Hungarian celebrates his 6th race win this season and then joins his team celebrating 3rd in the overall standings.
We took the 3rd position in style with a victory. I'm really proud of that. We equaled Adam on pole positions this year. He's the champion. Maybe we even equaled him on victories. I have to count that.
In fact, Norbert Kish is 6 wins short. Lachko boasts 12 victories. The top 10 of the penultimate race at a glance. Steffi Halm finishes 4th and is also 4th in the overall standings. Jose Rodriguez wins his 12th Promoters' Cup race this season and seals the title with a race to spare, as Andre Curzin can't topple him.
Curzin is a good driver, and for me, I am very happy.
Race 4 starts right after the podium ceremony, the last race of the 2017 season. Antonio Alberthetti is the pole sitter. Sasha Lentz reminds him to thank his sponsors. The Spaniard is at the head of the field because he intentionally dropped down to 8th in race 3. Clever tactics, perhaps. He aims to please his Spanish fans with a win. Andre Curzin in a battle with Dutchman Erwin Klein-Nagelvoort, who has yet to win a Promoters' Cup race this season. On board with David Rosecki, put under pressure by Steffi Halm on lap 2. The German is merciless, pushing the Czech off the track. It's a tough manoeuvre, but daily fare in truck racing. Jochen Hahn, Adam Lachko and Norbert Kish also pass Rosecki. Midpoint of the race, leader Antonio Alberthetti is significantly ahead of Kurber, Lentz, Halm and Hahn. 4 Germans are chasing the Spaniard, whereas Rosecki parks with a burst tyre. Great truck racing in outstanding conditions on both days. Steffi Halm is passed by Jochen Hahn on lap 6, dropping to 5th. But Halm retains 5th in a battle with Lachko and Kish. Hahn is in front of Gert Kurber on the very last lap, unseen by the cameras. Last year's champion passed the veteran. Hahn finishes 2nd, following Antonio Alberthetti, who turns in a blistering display. The Spaniard finishes with aplomb, winning the last race of the season, more than 6 seconds ahead of Hahn. The Madrid-born driver wraps up his 2nd win at his home track, followed by Iveco drivers Hahn and Kurber. Steffi Halm fails to make it to the podium this weekend, finishing 4th, followed by Sasha Lentz in 5th. The 3 best Promoters' Cup drivers are 8th, 9th and 10th. As always, after the last race, it's time to release the balls. A unique show concludes the programme. Smoking tyres, lots of donuts, burnt rubber, and cheering truck racing fans who want to see their matador, Antonio Alberthetti. It's a great conclusion to a fantastic race weekend, and you can tell Alberthetti is enjoying it.
I think it's great, you know, to finish the weekend with a victory, and here in Jarama, fantastic. I mean, you see all the crowd, you know, there is a big atmosphere, so I think it's a great day for me, for the team, for everybody.
After the show, right at the end, the winners are summoned to the podium ceremony. Gert Kurber, in particular, receives a special tribute after a podium in the last race of his career. Alberthetti and Hahn showering him lovingly in the champagne. The final standings at the end of the 2017 season. Adam Lachko on top, the Czech winning his maiden ETRC title, 38 points clear of Jochen Hahn. Andre Curzin, 9th ahead of Rodriguez, will stage another attack in the Promoters' Cup next year. British pair Smith and Brereton, who've won 1 ETRC race each, finish 11th and 12th. A total of 24 drivers have clocked up points. The official prize-giving ceremony was staged at Jarama's Golf Club in the evening, with Adam Lachko beaming from ear to ear. An emotional farewell for Gert Kurber, who says adieu after 30 years of ups and downs in truck racing. There were lots of happy teams. And happy FIA ETRC champion, Adam Lachko. He and his team will be looking to retain the title next season. And it'll be fought out over these 8 events to be staged in 2018. Put them in your diary now as we get set for another all-action season.